And a frozen cup, of course, you know.
Red.
So you said red?
Yeah.
So time out. So when you ate your frozen cup, I think this is let's sit up here.
There's only one right answer.
How do you eat it?
Okay. All right. So you got the frozen cup. You take it out.
Wrong.
You turn it upside down.
Razi, go.
I don't eat freezing cups because
what the hell?
No, I have an aversion to ice.
What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, aka Ferg, joined my co-host Razi and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
I just want to say my boy Joe is back. Season 3 dropped last weekend. And Joe is back in that thing, man. He's making me miss Dexter more and more every time I watch him. And they've announced that Dexter is coming back too. Based on the popularity of You. So if you haven't watched You, go out and do it. If you haven't watched Dexter, go watch Dexter. It's one of the top 10 shows ever. Or it could be, what was that British show that was like in the top 5?
Fleabag.
Fleabag or whatever. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's 2 seasons.
But it's the best. Oh, like, come on, man. So yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. Whoever made that list, that was a dumb list. But yeah, I'm excited about You. And
so I haven't started that yet. So Z actually brought it up maybe last night or one night recently, and the preview on Netflix, I'm like, say what now?
Yeah, it's cool. So for everybody who doesn't know what You is, it's on Netflix. It follows Joe, who is basically a stalker, and his escapades as a stalker and what he will do for love once he falls in love with somebody. So he always talks about it's just something about you. And he's just always talking to whoever he's stalking at the time. And so the stuff that he does for that person or to that person or, to other people because of that person. But yeah, either way it goes, it's interesting to say the least.
Good show.
So is it promoting stalking?
No. It tells you shouldn't be stalking, essentially. Because he always getting in trouble with the law and all that stuff and trying to, your whole Dexter thing. It's like, I got to hide my thing that I'm doing and yada, yada, yada. So it's definitely not promoting stalking.
Sounds like it's promoting stalking to me. 3 seasons in. At what point does Buddy stop stalking?
You gotta watch the show. It's a good show.
I don't want to spoil it, Ferg. Yeah. You always talk about me spoiling stuff.
What do you have for us, Buff? Oh, did I cut you off, Razi? You were talking about
you about to go something. I was just gonna ask y'all about Boosie and Lil Nas X. Did y'all hear this latest escapade with them or interaction with them? So Boosie is basically telling Lil Nas X he should die or whatever.
Or commit suicide. Literally commit suicide.
I was
not even die.
Wow, Boosie. Wow. That's all I gotta say. But yeah,
it's
Boosie
a battle of the will.
I don't even think he said Nas X was trolling him. I think all Nas X said was that he was working on a song with Lil Boosie. Like all he had to do was say that's not true, and he go off on this homophobic tirade. I don't get it.
But I think what he's
that was
doing
a homophobic tirade. I think that was like, what does he get when it gets to like almost violence, and it's like
I definitely see
it's one step away from a hate crime.
I definitely see Twitter.
I feel like he's trolling him.
I think Twitter's going to suspend him. Probably they should.
He's definitely going to. Yeah, he may end up banned, actually, not just suspended. But on top of that, I think Lil Nas X knows what he's doing. He's trolling him. He's riling him up. He's saying stuff to rile him up, and he knows that that's just more publicity he's going to get talked about from it.
But is he still gay though?
Yeah, he's still gay. That was a joke. He was making fun of people for saying that he may not be gay and everything like that. So it was just a tweet, and he just came back right after. Okay. It was like, y'all know better.
I wasn't following. I just heard him was like, okay. But
so that's it, man. That's all I got. It's been a crazy week because of all of this that's happening. But either way it goes, go Blazers. We lost our homecoming game today, but either way, we moved to the AAC, so we're in a bigger conference now. We moved out of the Conference USA, so super excited about that. Hopefully we'll get more money and more alumni support because of it. We'll see.
You guys have gone from not having a football team to getting it back and making some strides, huh?
Yeah, man.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good stuff.
All on Coach Clark, man. He is killing the game when it comes to all of this. I'm surprised. I don't know how long we're gonna keep him. We'll see if he stays another couple years. But I really feel like he wants to be your, Bear Bryant or your Saban of UAB. He really wants to be able to say, I took this program from, like you said, not having a program at all to the AAC and hopefully maybe a Power 5 in the next 5 to 10 years if he plays his cards right.
Nice. We always ask the listeners to share this episode, and that's usually so we can get as many listens as possible. I'm going to ask the listeners to share this episode, but in particular what I'm about to say, not so much for the listens. I need this to try and reach Jamie Lee Curtis, John Carpenter, and anybody that's affiliated with the Halloween franchise. Okay, no spoiler alerts are coming. I just need to get this off my chest. I just saw your latest installment, Halloween Kills, yesterday, okay? And I just want to let you guys know, Jamie Lee Curtis, John Carpenter, you took a great franchise. It has become the Fast and Furious of scary movies. And that's not a compliment. It's not a compliment at all. At this point, it's a complete money grab. That movie was absolute trash. Everyone who died in it deserved it. But it didn't progress the storyline in no shape or form. We learned nothing new. There wasn't even a cliffhanger. Like, we learned absolutely nothing. I have no idea what the point of that movie was other than to make Byron pissed. And if that was your goal, you succeeded. I know I have been on this rampage against scary movies and how mad they've been making me, but this one, me and Tabitha left that. My mood was anger when I left that movie. I could not believe how bad it was. So I can tell the way it ended that you're gonna do another one. I plead with you not to, but I know you're not gonna listen to me. So at least try to make it better, because that was awful. And I know all of you involved are much better than that, because you've done better than that. But this one was terrible. Please stop. It was like, I get on Fast and Furious because of Fast 7, which is one of the worst. I can't say enough how bad Fast 7 was.
Which one was Fast 7?
Fast 7 was the one where, put it like this, the plot of the movie, Ferg, was they needed this thing called God's Eye to find the villain, yet the villain was showing up everywhere they went. So why did they need God's Eye? He's already there. You don't need to look for him. He's there.
Yeah.
So
look up.
Isn't that the one where they totally became superheroes?
Yes.
Like Vin Diesel broke a parking deck.
Yes, he stomped a crack. Yes. So, the Rock.
Is that the one
the Rock ripped,
drove through a building?
The Rock ripped off like a rocket launcher off a helicopter to shoot it. You know what I mean? So that's what Halloween has become. So please stop. Please share this episode. I need it to go viral. I need Jamie Lee and John Carpenter to see this so that they can do better or stop.
Well, while you're trying to tell people to stop, I heard you had a very not so popular opinion about Lauryn Hill as well.
Listen, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. It's not an opinion. It's actually a fact. But it was.
What is that fact?
She either is late or never shows up to her concerts. And I know, she had her little line on the Nas album, King's Disease 2, where she's like, y'all, I'm out here saving souls and y'all worried about my lateness. No, I don't. Maybe you are saving souls. I don't know about the souls you save, but that doesn't absolve you from the fact that people are paying their money to come see you and you don't show up, or you're 4 hours late like you were in New York last month, Miss Hill. That's all.
Oh, so that wasn't you that said that she wasn't a legend?
No, that wasn't me that said. I screenshot someone who said that, and I was surprised that their mentions wasn't in. I don't want no smoke with Lauryn Hill fans. She's not my legend, but she is great. She's ultra talented. But yeah, I get why people call her a legend because the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill got it. It's phenomenal.
Yes. And Fujila, so
Yeah.
But the score, all this stuff, like it was just never mind. That's a whole nother subject. But no, okay, so I do know you again. I was about to start looking for another host when I thought that was your opinion on Lauryn Hill. And I just feel like I didn't know you anymore. I feel like we grew up together.
Well, you like having unpopular opinions, so.
Yeah, but that was just
yeah. But saying she's not a legend is like that's a bridge too far.
Sacrilege. So.
Oh, excuse me.
But no.
Oh, my bad. I just farted on my wallet. Now I got gas money.
God damn it. Is it a joke or our reactions? Buff that gets it.
That time was a little bit of both. The joke wasn't too bad. You slid over there. Very sophomore.
Oh man, nice shot stock word, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm actually trying to find shot stock and get my vocabulary back up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shot stock used to go hard.
Yeah. Wow, Razi. So I take it Sophie's gone.
Oh, she's here. I just wanted to use that one.
Okay. But no, very interesting week for me. Very busy few weeks, as I stated, I think on our last show, I went back to Mobile this past weekend and to celebrate the life of my cousin who passed the week before. And so it was good seeing the family, but never good to see family under those circumstances. But then on my dad's side, I was able to see my Uncle Palm, and he actually passed this past Wednesday as well. So can't make it back home for that one, but it was just good to see family. And one thing I learned about life is I have a huge family, and that sets me up for a lot of this. And we're getting to that age. But I think the biggest takeaway from that weekend or that week was, and I've talked about my relationship with my dad and stuff on the show before, I actually had a chance to ride home from Houston to Mobile with my dad. So that was the longest trip we've ever been. Well, probably not even the longest trip, the most time we spent together and alone in my 40 years of existing. So that was very interesting. I thought it was going to be, I didn't know what I thought it was going to be. So, but it ended up being really eye-opening. It ended up being a good experience. I feel like we grew closer. We shared some moments. We had a lot of good discussions, even to the point where I was able to, I guess, kind of talk to him about things that he wanted to change and that he wanted to do moving forward. So I told him about, one of my moments where I felt my biggest failures and I had to make a change in my life. And I think he's at that point in his life as well. And I was talking about the day after my 30th birthday when I wrote down my list of things I needed to change. So we talked about it, and, I kept asking him, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And I told him to write it down. And so it became, the challenge was, it was an ongoing joke for the weekend is, well, you can't get back in the car until you write it down. And when I picked him up Sunday morning, he had a list ready for me. And I read the list. I think he's heading in the right direction. He's trying to make a lot of changes to his life, but it was just a good overall experience. I learned more about him in that car ride there than I've learned in my entire life. I learned a lot, as far as his military background, his experiences, family life, all that stuff. And it was good. So I say all that to say, seize the day. If you just never know when you'll have those moments that might seem uncomfortable, jump on it. You never know. And so I think this is the beginning of, I'm not going to say a beautiful relationship or a beautiful friendship, but I think it's the beginning of something new. And so I'll keep you posted on that. That was pretty much one of my biggest takeaways. I think I text you guys when I was debating on really seeing if I wanted to take that dive, and part of me thought he was going to back out, which would have been not disappointing, but it would have been kind of what I expected. And we even talked about that. And he's like, yeah, I almost backed out. So really good drive, really good ride. I feel like we could do it again, no problem. And so that was it. Also, shout out to Dean's Pizza, bro, in Houston. So it's a halal restaurant. They serve no pork. So they do, and Byron's going to frown up when I say what the ingredients I had on my meat lovers pizza. I had pepperoni, bacon, and Italian sausage, all beef. Yeah, man. You know how long it's been until I had some good pepper. And it's like whatever they do, it's like the crispy pepperoni. I didn't know there was a such thing as beef bacon. It's probably jerky. Now think about it.
Well, bacon just means it's like it comes from the rump, right? Or the belly. I can't remember. Belly, yeah. So, I mean,
it's probably
get
jerky
bacon from anything. Yeah. Well, jerky just means it's dried, so I doubt it's dried.
I feel like it was probably the way they did it is probably they took it in, jerked it.
Oh, jerked it.
Did you regret that as soon as you said it?
When I looked at Razi, I thought like this little sophomore. But no, it was a good trip. Dean's was great. That's what I was eating when I logged in, and I don't get some of the simple pleasures that I missed when I was still eating pork. So that was good.
Nice. Do they have a gluten-free option, like gluten-free crust on top of that?
I don't believe in that crap. Gluten-free is like the flat earthers. So
all I know is it's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's like gluten-free crust.
Whoever in gluten, I don't even know what gluten is. So, but I feel like I love it.
Yeah.
So, all right, fellas. Buff, you laughed pretty hard at Razi's last joke. Do you feel like we need Sophie for today, or how you feeling?
I think we did good with that joke. I mean, I'm always in favor of having Sophie, but his joke suffice.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
All righty, so let's jump into it. Who wants to start off?
I can start it off today.
Okay.
So we did a lot of talking about Dave Chappelle and just cancel culture in general. And I think one of the things that happens is once we like really love an entertainer, they have to do a lot before we disown them or cancel them. Like we'll do a lot of defending. Like I don't know if we talked about it on the show, or in the text. Like when did we cancel R. Kelly? Like it took a lot. Like I had to hear this room, I had to hear that room, all that kind of stuff. My question for you guys is this: had he started out, started getting popular about 2 years ago, and had the same career going forward, would Michael Jackson in this era survive the rumors he went through with the kids 2 different times, with the whole skin changing? Because the jokes would have, especially on social media, they would have flew. Just his whole, like he had, how do I put this? He wasn't the most masculine man. You know what I mean? So, and we never really saw him with like a bunch of women. He had that very short marriage to Elvis Presley's daughter. Would he have survived this era of what, his music was so great that it would have overcame everything? But keep in mind, I'm saying, had he like first came to prominence about 2 years ago, had the same career, but now with the social media and everything that we have now, the 24-hour news cycles with all the allegations he faced, do you think he would have survived?
I think he would have thrived. I think Michael Jackson today wouldn't have done all the makeup to cover up his vitiligo. So that whole thing about, him turning white and everything like that would have went away anyway, right? He would have just embraced it. Hey, I got vitiligo. Here's what it is. type thing, he wouldn't have been so self-conscious about it because the time of inclusivity today.
So you buying the vitiligo shtick?
Yeah, I mean, I know people with vitiligo, so like
I know what it is. I'm just saying. Yeah. Okay. I think with the plastic surgery and all that stuff, is kind of
got about the plastic surgery.
That's like if it would have been vitiligo and he would just had, who was it? Damn, the baseball player,
Sammy Sosa,
who looks just completely different. Like if he would have just turned out, he would have Sammy Sosa. Like I could kind of buy that, but it's like you restructured everything about your look. Hair,
he didn't, though.
nose.
If you really look at it, like, yeah, I mean, he did everything. Got the hair plugs. I mean, the thing about it is, he got the hair plugs because he was balding, and so the perm wasn't hidden after he got his Jerry curl caught on fire or whatever. So he got the hair plugs based on that. So I think he would have been able to work it a lot better. His PR would have been a lot better. Because of the inclusivity. I really kind of feel like Michael Jackson was like ostracized because he was different, not necessarily, and I don't think he would have been pushed to the side as much as he was in this day and age. So when you talk about the rumors of him, a lot of people thought he was gay and stuff like that. Like, look at Lil Nas X today. Like, he could have been gay and it wouldn't have been a big deal. He didn't have to have all those women and it wouldn't have been a big deal. His music, his R&B music or his pop music didn't matter, or it wouldn't matter his sexuality as much as it did back then. So I feel like if he had come out a couple years ago, whatever, I mean, he would have killed the game because he's still a musical genius and he didn't have to try to conform to 80s hypermasculinity, white, conformity.
So it's hard to accept your question the way it is, Buff, just because I think the legend of Michael Jackson is because of how long his career lasted. So we're saying, he came out they loved him from the day he was a kid. So if call it Bad Mike came out today, that was his first album, it might be different. But people grew to love him and started making excuses. So his career was probably 20 plus years in the making when he became, the moonwalker, Michael Jackson. If he just started today, didn't have the following and the love and appreciation, I don't.
Can we keep that history and say 2 years ago is when solo Michael Jackson came out?
So you got to look at Mike. Mike came out in phases. I feel like when he became the person we're talking about now is when he started kind of taking a dive. That's when his career kind of started going down to a certain extent. We loved the Jackson 5 Mike. We love Off the Wall Mike. We love Thriller Mike. He was still kind of, he was still Mike. But then when he became Bad and then Remember the Time and all the other stuff, like that's when people kind of started turning their back on Mike a little bit. But like the earlier Mike, early 80s Mike, everybody wanted to be Mike. I don't know. Well, I guess with that being said, when he turned the tide, when he kind of changed his image, I think we would have been more accepting. I will say that. Like if he had the same discography and all the history, and then all of a sudden in 2016 he bleached his skin, or rumors started appearing and stuff like that, I think the rumors themselves might have been the only thing that would have potentially canceled, because people don't play with kids. Like, it's never been confirmed, but the other things that people might have, like, oh, he might be gay. You ain't never seen Mike with no real woman. The whole the white kids thing, all that stuff. Blanket, all that stuff. People would love if he named his child Blanket today. He would have Blanket would have 1 million followers on Facebook and Instagram at the age of 6 months today. There would be the Blanket challenge today. It'd be somebody wrapped a Cabbage Patch doll or someone wrapped in a blanket.
Yeah, it's no different than Blue Ivy or any the other kids that come out today.
The only thing with cancel culture being so popular is I feel like we're looking for the next victim. We're looking for the next person to cancel. The more popular it is, the harder it is to cancel them. Until a movement starts. That's why you go back to your original question. Like with R. Kelly, I ask people, when do they cancel him? Because I feel like nobody really canceled him until people told people that you need to cancel R. Kelly. They might not use the word cancel, but like, are you still R. Kelly? And you were challenged on why do you still mess with him? I don't think anybody just like, you know what? I'm just going to cancel R. Kelly. I probably would have never canceled him if I would have been my views and morals wouldn't have been in question. If nobody would ever call me out, I probably would have never canceled him. That's why I always ask people. I don't think we just cancel him because, like, you know what? That's the last straw. It's like, dog, you still fuck with R. Kelly? He did this, and this, and like they got to go through. And it's like, yeah, you're right. I probably don't need to listen to this music. The kid said he didn't do it. I don't know, man. You have the answer, Buff.
I don't. I asked the question, but I'm the wrong person to answer because, much like Lauryn Hill, I acknowledge his greatness, but he's not somebody that I really just mess with that heavy. Like, I have the Bad album on vinyl. I think Off the Wall is like a classic. Thriller, has that record even been broken? Like the amount of records it sold, 17 million, however many it sold. So I acknowledge his greatness, but I'm not like some Michael Jackson fanatic. But I will say, I think what would have given him trouble is the admission that he lets kids sleep in his bed. And I wonder would social media have taken off with that? And when you add what some consider the weird behavior, when you add what he went through as a kid himself, when you add he had the playground and stuff like that at his home, and things that attract kids. Yeah, why is he always around kids? And he let them sleep in his bed, and he was never really with. There's no woman you can really link him with for real. I wonder. I don't even know if I can answer. I asked the question because I do wonder would he have survived, because the mob can be vicious once they decide to come after you. And I just wonder, I think he probably is the most popular superstar we've ever had in music. I think. I know I hear Beach Boys and some of the other groups, but I think he is the most popular ever. So I just wonder, could he have survived?
Single entertainer? I don't think his crimes against humanity would have been the same. I think, and I'm trying to word it very carefully, because going back to R. Kelly, things that were a little more acceptable, but I'm like, sleeping with kids was never really acceptable. So it's just, but.
And you know what it is too, Ferg? Sleeping with kids is unacceptable. Sleeping with same-sex kids, man on boys, is what's the most acceptable, because there are people that justify R. Kelly sleeping with girls because they'll say, well, they were old enough to know what they were doing. But when you start talking about the Catholic priest-like behavior and men with boys, then that's when everybody, they're not going to touch that.
And I'm trying to think, is it a cultural thing? I'm like, is that acceptable anywhere? Because we don't know what happened. Like there's so many different ways. If let's say there was no sexual contact, no sexual nature going on, he just has a spirit of kids, and because sleeping with boys is one thing, but if he would have had a little girl in that bed, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
It's like, why is this dude having he's a little boy in his mind. He wants to be around other little boys and play and enjoy their childhood innocence, whatever his thought process was. You throw a girl in there, there's no questions asked. He's going to jail.
Well, by the way, for the people, whenever this video posts and they see me laughing when you said Thriller, I can just never forget the Chappelle Show skit when he was on trial.
Oh.
And he said he made Thriller. It makes me laugh. So that's all I got, man. It was just like a hypothetical that I wondered.
I mean, I think that question goes, would our stars of yesteryear be who they are today if we applied that same cancel culture?
Lord, can you imagine Muhammad Ali saying he ain't going to Iraq or Afghanistan because they ain't never called him nigga? Mm-hmm. Right after 9/11 saying something like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, Boondocks kind of did that with Martin Luther King. So
yeah. So I mean, that's a very interesting thing. Are we just more have our standards changed?
I mean, just going back to that, would Martin Luther King have made it with all his womanizing? You know, that would have leaked and it would have got out. I mean,
that's true too.
That's all fake news,
especially by him being a reverend. You know what I mean? Like, and we love tearing people down. So he trying to lecture us. He ain't no better.
Right. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. I mean, truthfully.
All right.
So, but all right, I wanna kind of stay on this whole celebrity tip then, since we're on that. I don't know if you guys saw that Chloe Bailey, she revealed that she doesn't like when a guy answers every time she calls. And she said that I want to be left wondering what you're doing. Red flags, red flags, red flags, as everybody who's been on Facebook or social media has seen about these red flags. Super red flag when it comes down to it. But I wanted you guys' thoughts on when you were dating way back in the day. But Chloe's 23. And so that's what I'm thinking. 23-year-old you. Did you run into women that kind of wanted that? Or did you feel like if you gave her too much attention that it would turn her off and you wouldn't be able to pull her if you gave her too much attention? So spitting game for the guys out there and the ladies.
First off, the first comment I saw to that post by Chloe Bailey, a young lady said, see, she's part of the problem. She's part of the problem. I think to a certain extent, women, people in general don't want to be smothered. So attention is good, but you don't want to be, I don't think anyone wants someone that doesn't have any other friends. Like if I have a girl or if I'm dating a girl and my only friends are her friends, like when I get ready to kick it, if I'm not kicking it with them, I'm not kicking it with anybody. I can see how that can be smothered. Now, I don't know if that's what Chloe was alluding to, but as far as the whole attention thing, I can see where someone would not want that all the time. Like in the beginning, that's cool. You're in the mushy phase, but after some time, you know, you kind of want to like miss a person a little bit. You know, not saying like I don't think what Chloe said, like her quote, I don't think that resonates that well. Like I don't want what did she say? I don't want him to answer the phone sometimes and stuff like that. But
yeah, she said, I want to be left wondering what you're doing.
That's stupid. That's dumb. That's dumb. But that, you know, God bless her, 23 years old. But even at 23, that's not the position I would want to be in. But I do get not smothering someone and, giving someone a little space from time to time or day to day or whatever like that. You don't want to be up under anybody 24/7, every day of the week like that. So I do get that part. But that exact quote, I think is a little dumb.
So I'm with Chloe, 100%. I think people look at it the wrong way. It's not that you're wondering what he's doing if he's necessarily with another person. Like, if you think he's cheating or she's cheating, then you just leave. It's just kind of wondering. So I used to live by this book. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Law 16 of the 48 Laws of Power. So I think it's just when you're so readily available, you become a commodity. You want to like, man, I called her. I wonder what she's doing. It's like, oh, I was out here playing basketball with the fellas. Like it was something. Or, if I'm answering every time you pick up, in my mind, like, is she sitting waiting on the phone by the phone waiting on me? Like, what the hell? That's almost unappealing to me. Like answering on the first ring, all that stuff. I mean, it's not as serious as people make it. It's kind of like, man, I wonder, usually she picks up my phone. I wonder what she's doing. She's probably busy. Oh, I know she said that I was coming by today. I hope they're having a good time. or, you know, her mother was coming in town, or it could be so many different things. If your mind, the only thing you can think is, oh, I wonder who he's with, I wonder what she's doing, you're like, then you probably have bigger issues. I respect that. It's okay. I'm with somebody who's a mover and shaker. So if they're not picking up, I'm assuming there's something going on that is important enough for them not to pick up, or they're too occupied not to see their phone or something like that. But it's more than life than just cheating people. Every time somebody doesn't pick up the phone, that doesn't mean they're doing something bad, unless it's after what time? Unless it's after 2 a.m.
Yeah. Ain't nothing going on.
Unless it's after 2 a.m. So if they ain't picking up after 2 a.m. and they ain't sleep, you're good.
I'm with you, Ferg. That's why I brought it up, because it was surprising that she was getting so much backlash. Not necessarily because it's her person. It's what she likes. I'm like you. I like that. Like, I don't want you to pick up every time I call. I don't want you to be able to be so accessible that you don't have anything else going on in your life. Like you said, I want you to be moving and shaking. I want you to be engaged. I want you to be doing things where if I call, you send me the voicemail or shoot me a text, you know, the whole auto reply, can I talk to you later, or whatever it is that the iPhone has. Like, I want to get some of those every once in a while, because I want to feel like you're doing things that aren't necessarily more important than me, but are more important than talking to me right now at this moment. And so I'm all for, like, yeah, you not answering and stuff. And I like how you put it where it doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm thinking about you cheating. I am wondering, oh, what is going on that's more important than me? So when we talk later, or when you call me back, I can be like, hey, what was going on? And I can hear about it or whatever. You know, I want to know that breeds a healthier relationship if you guys can't do that. If you're expecting somebody to pick up every time you call them, then that's a little bit controlling, one. And I feel like that's a red flag if you are in a relationship and somebody expects you to pick up every time that you call.
Yeah, and I think that it's a dynamic relationship. Like, if we're married and I'm calling, I'm not a person that calls all the time. So if I'm calling, there's probably something going on. Like, usually I'll send a text. But if I'm calling, like, in the middle of the day, it's 2:37 on a Tuesday, I know you're at work, I'm not calling to ask you how you're doing. I'm calling to say, hey, this is going on, this is going on. But she said we're dating. They're 23. It's nothing that damn important at 23. Nothing was that important for me. Not one thing.
Yeah, y'all sound silly. I've never in life have I called someone and said, oh my God, I hope they don't answer. But I know I think you guys don't mean it literally, but I just want to say it just in case so y'all can clarify. But if we're in a relationship, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have a general good idea of what you're doing and when to call and when not to call. So if I know you're at work or you're out with your girls or whatever the case may be, then I'm more than likely I'm not going to call. When I call, which I rarely
stop
do,
right there.
Because no, I'm not going to stop. Let me finish. I'm probably going to text. I usually text. I rarely call. So when I call, that means I really want something. Now, whether or not you answer or not, I ain't going to flip out. I mean, I don't expect someone to answer all the time, but to take the quote that Razi says, I don't like when someone answers all the time, that's a bit silly. Why are you calling that? I'm not going to call you if I don't want you to answer the phone. That's just silly.
Okay, maybe saying that, but I have friends. I've been with people, like, if you know I'm going out, if we're hanging out right now, the three of us are hanging out, and and we're 23 years old. She knows I'm out with you. We got no kids, no responsibility. She just calling, what y'all doing? Like, you've been with those people who their girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever they're with, continuously calls because they want to see what they're doing. That's that. There's that. So why are you answering every time? If I'm calling, do you always want something? No, you want to just know what the hell we're doing. We're doing the same thing we were doing 20 minutes ago when you called. Who all there? Like, those conversations? No. What I'm saying is, if I call,
that's someone that calls too much.
I mean, we're just making generalizations at this point. I mean, I'm saying if I call and you don't answer, I probably want to call, but it's not. If I need something, I'll call back or send a text. Yeah. If I need something, I'll call back and send a text. My thing is, I've been with those people. I feel like they're calling as soon as I answer. I mean, I ring the phone, they're picking up. It's like, God damn, this bitch sitting by the phone waiting on me to call. I'm not sitting there like, I hope she doesn't answer. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I like somebody who has a lifestyle as well, who has things going on in their life. I can appreciate or I can respect the fact that they're not always available for me. That's what I'm saying.
But you also said you like to wonder what they're doing.
No, not the wonder. Like, it's just like, I wonder what she's doing. It's not like I'm not going to sit there as like, oh my God, I wonder what she's doing. It's like, oh, I wonder what she's doing. Oh yeah, it might hit me that I forgot that she was going out with Tab today. Like, they were getting their nails done. Oh, I forgot they were going with Tab. Hey, don't worry about it. I forgot you were Tab. Like, I've done that, but I don't think it's, the way I took this quote is people are sitting there thinking, if you don't answer the phone, you're up to no good. That's what I took from it, is that. And it's like, I wonder what you're doing, because it says, I wonder what you're doing. I wonder what you're doing does not necessarily mean anything negative, but I feel like a lot of people associate, I wonder what you're doing with negative activity.
Yeah. And I think, I agree with you. No, I'm not calling saying I hope they don't pick up. What I'm saying is that in totality,
I have called in the past. Like, I told her I was going to call her.
Oh, yeah, I have done that. Hope she don't pick up. Don't pick
up. I thought about that as I was saying it too. I was like, there's a couple times she probably called me like, I hope she don't pick up. That way you can say, I called you back.
I called you. Shit. I told you. Well, I'm going to call you.
Let it ring like 3 times. Then you hang up real quick and get right back on the video game. Like, yo, pick it up.
Yeah. This is way, I'm not talking about with Z. I'm talking about way back when. But I have done that. So it's kind of like, we don't always call, I think people think too much of it. It's like, point. You know what? Yeah.
But we're talking totality of your whole relationship, right? Like 2-3 weeks, a month, 4 months, and you're still picking up every single time I call. That's what I think she's talking about. She's not talking about she's calling saying, I hope he doesn't pick up right now. It's just that every time I call, I want you to not pick up sometimes, so that we can have that conversation of, what were you doing? I wonder. I do kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to have that conversation, so I'm gonna disagree with you on that. What it is it's why are you always so available? Like, nigga, you don't got nothing going on. If I call you at 1:15, you're picking up. If I call you at 2:47, you're picking up. If I call you at 4:12, you're picking up. Like, nigga, why are you always available? Like, does your phone die? Do you leave your phone in the car? Like, are you ever on the phone with your cousins?
Like,
you're always available. Like, if I call y'all, like, y'all aren't always available. Who do you know that you call every time you call, they pick up the phone? Nobody. Because they have lives. If I pick up every time, but also because if you call me, I'm probably not going to pick up every time. So now I feel like, my God, every time, well, I called you. Why didn't you pick up? Because I got a job. I work from 9 to 5 and I can't pick up. Like, I've seen those situations where I called you. Why didn't you pick up? That conversation has led to me like nixing people. Because I'm like, because I was busy doing what? Ooh. Now we're getting to the question what I was doing. And I don't like to be questioned. Maybe that's what it is for me. So I'm not necessarily wanting that conversation, Razi. Like, so what were you doing when I called and you didn't pick up at 2:47? It's just like, you called early. I was busy. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. I just knowing you were busy was cool. That's enough for me. Rather than, I don't know, man. I've been with people that just always.
Yeah, I mean, I get. I'm not saying it has the conversation has to get that deep where it's like, oh, tell me exactly what you were doing. Like, if you were just like, I was busy at work or I was working, all right, cool, whatever. But if I know you're off, I know you don't have anything to do, like, and I called randomly on a Saturday, hey, what was going on? Like, were you out shopping? Were you doing this? Whatever. It's conversation, bruh. Like, that's normal conversation.
They'll tell me They'll tell me if they want to tell me. It might have been I was watching You. That's it. Like I was having.
It's hard for me to co-sign too because I rarely call. Like I rarely call. So
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, like so if someone answers every time I call, I probably won't think nothing of it because I'm only calling you about 4 times every 3 months. Yeah. So
like damn Buff call him. Like if you call me like damn Buff call him, I want hey everything all right? Yeah. Rather than that person that's always calling you. And I've been in those, I'm not even say relationships, I've been in those situations where somebody is always calling me, it's just kind of like, I'm like, what else do you have to do in your life? Like, you got friends, you got class, you got something that is, because I have my own life too.
Mm-hmm. But please have your own friends, though. Please.
Yeah.
Chloe, more power to you. Well, fellas, you had some good questions. I'm going to change it up a little bit. So, like I said, I went home this past weekend, and I love my hometown, no matter what some people might think. And it just made me start, reminiscing and reflecting on things. So my question to you guys is, what are your fondest childhood memories?
It's so many, man. I talked about one. My dad would drive around picking up everybody to go to baseball practice and just riding with everybody on the back of the truck and everything. I think that was one of my favorite times, man. It was chilling out, hanging with the guys, being at the baseball park every day, all day on Saturdays. So that was just awesome. I mean, 8 Mile Park, shout out. We were at High Point at one point, like just different parks all the time. So that definitely going to my grandma's house over in Plateau and just spending the night with all the cousins. So, how it always happens, one cousin group comes and then they calling over. And so the other cousin group come, the other cousin, and y'all end up sleeping on pallets and stuff on the floor because there ain't enough beds for everybody. And then walking over to the candy lady and spending $1 worth of food and just having a whole big old party with just, pickles and all kind of craziness from the candy lady. So, I mean, but it's, man, growing up in Mobile, some great times. Mardi Gras, we joke about when we were trying to light that grill on Fat Tuesday together because none of us knew how to light a grill at 17. So little stuff like that, man. Just growing up in Mobile, there's so many memories, good times, man. So I'll never talk bad about Mobile when it comes to just we talked about like we were poor but didn't know we were poor. It's like our parents made it happen. Like it's just, I mean, it's just great, man. It's a great time. It's a great city.
One of the downsides of living away from home is you're not around family as much, and so Jasmine would definitely miss out on this because growing up as a kid, I had so many cousins there. Spending the night over their houses and stuff was like a highlight, especially in particular. I think I've said this on the show before, but over my cousin Herschel and Jay house, because I know, Razi, you say you grew up poor and didn't know it. They ain't grow up poor. You know how I know they ain't grow up poor? Because they ain't just have basic cable. They had HBO. You know what I mean? So, but it was fun. And like, we didn't have to walk to a candy lady house because, they sold a lot of snacks and stuff at Peters Park. So he had like a whole Sam's warehouse full of snacks. Now, we couldn't just eat to our heart's content. But if we asked nicely, which, by the way, me and Lil Herschel would put J-Bo, because he was the youngest, we would always put him up to go ask his dad, because I don't know how many people in Mobile know Herschel Wilson, Coach Herschel Wilson, but he has a tendency to cuss you out. And so we didn't want to get cussed out. So we would put Jay up to it because he was the youngest. And we was like, listen, you are the least likely to get cussed out because you the baby. And so sometimes he got cussed out. Sometimes he got the okay. So spending the night over their house. And then sometimes they would let my other cousin Chris spend the night. So it would be 4 of us. And, we had like basketball tournaments 2-on-2. I sucked, but J-Bo was always on my team. So he was the baller. Chris sucked, but Herschel was the baller. So it evened out because you had one guy that couldn't play and one guy that could. And that was fun. Just playing Nintendo and Sega, because they had both. They had Sega and Nintendo. They had 2 go-karts. They had it all, man. So it was fun spending the night over there. And those are some of my best, very best childhood memories. Like, it's something I look forward to on the weekend. And I'll never forget that. And I hate at times that that's something my daughter doesn't experience.
So mine is kind of definitely was just like yours. Mine was a little different and more like what Jasmine's probably going through is because I stayed in Dallas when I was in my earlier years, I didn't have that family around. So as a child, as far as I can remember, every year we would go back to Mobile for Mardi Gras. And every once in a while, maybe every other Christmas or every few, we would go to Mobile for Christmas. But that's when I saw all my cousins. So I was born in Mobile, so I moved to Dallas when I was probably like 3. So I remember being around my cousins. I remember there was a lot of us. And by the time I moved back, there was a shit ton more. But coming to Mobile for Mardi Gras every year, my idea of Mobile from a kid that was growing up in the suburbs of Dallas, I thought Mobile was the Mecca, bruh. Like, because I come back from Mardi Gras and I'm trying to explain to these white people, like, yeah, man, there's nothing but black people all over. And they got this big ass parade because there's parades. Like, we've been to parades in Dallas, but they weren't throwing candy and moon pies at these damn parades in Dallas. So my thing is, I'm like, man, they throwing candy and beads and cups and teddy bears and all kind of stuff. And like, my uncle owned a C-store down in I think off Davis Avenue or something like that, close to the parade route. So we would just literally, and this is the 80s where, you 7 years old and a group of y'all can run wild. You can't, how far Sophie and Ollie can go is nowhere near how far we could go at that age, especially in the group. So we'll leave his store. I don't know where the hell I was going, but as long as I was with my cousins, we would leave the store, go to the parades. Come back to the store and he have the pit smoking. He owned a store, talking about candy and stuff, all that stuff. Even just coming back every once in a while to Mobile for the summer and staying at my grandmother's house. I mean, it was always a shit ton of us. And I remember going like to Dumas Wesley, like the summer programs, and even walking because there was 1,000 of us, like a troop going to free lunch. I hated the free lunch, but I would get my apple and my orange juice that was always frozen in the middle, the free lunch orange juice. I don't know if y'all know about that. Y'all was probably too good for free lunch.
My mama my mama ran the free lunch program, bro. So we always had so much, bro.
You know that little orange juice that it was always frozen in the middle.
Yeah.
So shout out to free lunch over at I think Tomoil Warren Street Baptist Church, whatever that was, off Stanton Road.
Bruh, that ham and cheese in there.
Yeah, I couldn't eat all that stuff. I was still, I was Maggie's son, so I was kind of like, I'm down, but I ain't down. But it was just the memories. It was the walk. So the candy lady, my grandmother was a candy lady, and so when I came down for the summer, I would stay with my grandmother on my stepdad's side, and so she would drop me off at my grandmother's house every morning to go to work, and she would give me like $1.50. I'm balling. I had $1 every day. And my grandmother was a candy lady. Nick, I had bank.
You was getting it at cost, bro.
I'm sitting there. Let me get 10 of the butter cookies. Let me get 5 of the cigarettes, bubble gums. Like
few now laters.
And a Faygo. Now I get the lemon heads and all, and a frozen cup, of course.
Red.
So you said red. So time out. So when you ate your frozen cup, I think this is a very this is.
There's only one right answer. That's only one right answer.
How do you eat it? How do you eat it?
Okay, all right. So you got the frozen cup. You take it out. You turn it upside down.
Razi, go.
I don't eat freezing cups because
what the hell?
No, I have an aversion to ice. I don't know if y'all.
I knew that, but just like I'm not talking about ice. I'm talking about a frozen cup.
Yeah. The scraping of ice Like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I don't know if you. My hair is standing on end right now just talking about it. I can't talk about ice. It's horrible.
So I used to judge people on the way they eat it. Like the people that would that would bite it. That's a freaking the way it was and bite it. You guys are freaking Neanderthals. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of about to do my. But you know they'll
tear the styrofoam off of it.
Freaking Neanderthal.
That's crazy.
Byron, your way is acceptable. But the right answer is you take the spoon and you kind of scrape it in, and you get that little circle, and then you scrape around the edge.
Wait. When you walk to the freezer, and we call it the freezing cup lady house. When you walk to the freezing cup lady house, you didn't have a spoon with you. Okay.
My grandmother was the candy lady.
There. Okay, we didn't all have grandmothers that was the candy lady, Ferg. They have a spoon with me. I had to walk to Birmingham Street from Montgomery Street in Pritchard.
I'm just saying it's a proper way to eat it. I can't dictate your situation. It's like eating freaking sushi with a fork. Yes, you can eat it with a fork if you don't have chopsticks, but the proper way to eat it is with chopsticks. I'm just saying. I'm not judging. Okay, I'm judging. No, I'm not judging you, Buff. That's acceptable. But the Neanderthals that tore the styrofoam off and bit into it, may you ever rot in hell and get. I hope you end up with the little silver tooth when you were a kid.
I kind of got to co-sign that, I got to co-sign.
Yeah, that's just that. Yeah, that's But no, so it was those moments, just growing up around my cousins, even like Melvin and Marquise, just sitting there playing hours and hours of playing with those guys, going to Village Green or them coming over my house, playing Primetime on Sega with Melvin for hours and hours on end, unstoppable. But it all revolved around, when I look back, it all revolved around my cousins, man. And I think the reason I brought this up is just, like I said, my cousin passed, and it kind of put it into the innocence of those memories. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because it was untainted, because it was always all of us. And now that one of us is gone, it'd never be the same, the purity of it. I would always love those memories, but man, it was so great growing up around all that family. Every time I had to go back to Dallas, I would cry getting in the car. Like I would cry my whole way out of Mobile because I felt like Mobile was where I was supposed to be at, because in my mind, the stuff that was in my mind, Mobile was Mardi Gras all the time. They were always together because I would come home for the holidays and that was always then. But when I moved back, it was just being around my cousins. Razi, you were around me even when we got to high school. Every Thanksgiving, Christmas, I go to my grandmother's house and you or Wendell, somebody would pick me up from my grandmother's house. Mainly you or Wendell, like, what time you leaving your grandma's house? Just come through about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Going to the skating rink, even though it was even my play cousins. Like me and Melvin go to like the skating rink with Johnny Wilson, because he stayed right around the corner from the skating rink. A whole nother set of memories. So, side note to best childhood memories, Teen Jams.
Teen Jams, definitely.
Circa 93, 94 to about 95, 96. Woo.
Yeah.
Gorgas Park Rec.
Yeah. Which one was it? The really, really big one that they had at Pritchard Stadium? No, they did one it was like a concert at Pritchard Stadium.
I ain't go to that. No, I wasn't going to Pritchard Stadium.
Remember that? Oh, no. Man, I remember that.
Did they let y'all have? Have Teen Jams
in Pritchard Stadium?
Yes, we can have them. Yes.
Nobody got shot or stabbed?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure somebody got shot or stabbed.
Oh.
Because it was going on back then, like mid-90s. Dog.
I think Plateau Rec had Teen Jams.
Who?
Plateau Rec.
Ooh, I wouldn't even.
Yeah. My grandma lived 4 houses down from Plateau Rec. So
bro, you got some street cred, bro.
It went on for that one.
I ain't messing around in Plateau. But no, but Gorgas Park, Spring Hill, and Texas Street. That was my stomping ground. Gorgas Park, I can walk. It'd be like an onslaught of people. Mm-hmm. That's where all the Phillips kids were at. Those three: Gorgas Park, Spring Hill, and Texas Street. I think that's where I met Wendell with you, Buff?
Texas Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my goddad was the like administrator or whatever for Texas Street. So I always was at Texas Street. I always was at Plateau because it was right down the street from my grandma's house. And I'll go to Gargis every once in a while.
You missed out. Gargis was legendary, bro. And I had routines.
Yeah, it was fun. It definitely was fun.
Every teen jams.
Yeah.
Me, Melvin, and probably Johnny. So, anything else, fellas?
Nah, man, this was fun though.
Let's go ahead and call it then, man. All right, what do you have for us?
All I got is Halloween's coming up. Happy Halloween to everybody who really makes a big deal of it. It'll be Sunday coming. So happy birthday, Jasmine. So I might have stole your thunder a little bit, Buff. But happy birthday to her. And also happy birthday, Jacelyn. Her birthday's on Halloween as well. And that's about it, man. You guys know Halloween's a huge deal in my household. We're actually going to get we're doing a whole photo shoot this weekend. So tomorrow we'll be shooting. We're gonna be Into the Spider-Verse. So that's the family theme this year. So yeah, we'll post some pictures and show you guys. But just happy Halloween, man. Enjoy the time and happy birthday to everybody.
Are you getting the ones for it? You getting the J's?
Yeah, I didn't because I am Peter B. Parker. So I've got a pair of Timbs and some Converse for my guy. But Ollie has the ones for his.
You bought him ones for the costume?
No. He had ones already, and it just so happens that they're the black and white ones. So it fits his costume.
Okay. I'm laughing at I just went on a rant on Halloween Kills, and I'm Michael Myers for Halloween. How about that? Nah, you can steal my thunder. It's nothing wrong with wishing it to her twice. But this Halloween will be my daughter's 13th birthday. So just want to say happy birthday to her. I will officially have a teenager. She will be turning 13. So looking forward to that and not looking forward to that at the same time. And just want to give a shout out to the other girl in my life, Tabitha. I've talked about her YouTube page a couple of times. She has a video that's closing in on 1,000 views. So I'm going to assume that is partly due to my pubbing her on this platform. So if you are a listener that has checked out her video, thank you very much for that. She works hard on it. We argue about certain outfits at times. I know it's been a little rough on her at times as she had to reshoot sometimes. So I appreciate her understanding where I was coming from on some of those shots. And, she doesn't want to do it if I'm not on board. And that's something that I can really appreciate. But she's doing great. I'm proud of her. And thank you guys for checking her out. Tabby T, by the way, if you haven't, on YouTube. Check her out. Subscribe to her page.
Well, don't want to leave before I say this. So we're entering the month of November very soon. And as we all know, that's Men's Health Month. So because it's been a crazy year or two for all of us, I really wanted to, and I push it all the time, talking about mental health for men, and especially my Black men. So for my family, our listeners, my brothers on this podcast, I'm going to challenge everybody in the month of November to at least look into and have one therapy session. So I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm calling y'all out. We talked about it. Buff, Razi, I know you're still going to your therapist. Hooley, Sherman, Melvin Johnson, Sherman Cooley, Marquise Johnson, all our listeners, Fino, everybody. I need you guys to try.
James Finley,
anybody
baby.
That listens to us that's not doing right. James Finley. But everybody, any of our male listeners, this is to you. I need you to go do this. We need to take that a little more serious. So if I called your name, that's because you guys were top of mind, first people I thought of. Any of my family members, cousins, go. Therapy is a thing. So, all righty. Well, go around the thing. So, happy birthday, Jasmine. Happy birthday, Jacelyn. congrats, Tab, on 1,000 views. I'm speaking into existence. So hopefully by the time this airs, we'll be at 1,000 views. And then I'm going to say congratulations to the Grant family. I was at home this past weekend, and Wendell Grant's family, just his mom and dad, just celebrated 50 years of holy matrimony, which is great. I don't even know. That's like Byron and I were talking about this during the break, and those are marriage goals, man. You know, so 50 years of marriage. Congratulations to you guys. Thank you to all our listeners for all your support, standing with us, staying by us, you know, and hope to keep bringing you good programming. So with that being said, Three Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. See, Razi, took my vitamins, my memory's back. I'm good. Talk to you guys next week.